Hello.
Hello,
What's your name?
Cassandra Stark.
Okay.
And
And yes, go ahead.
Your Honor,
Go.
Miss Stark appeared at the last court date and advised that Mr. Bartell is incarcerated. We were able to verify that he is being held based on a charge out in Mackinac County, and isn't due to be released until, at the earliest, May, at the latest, 2029.
Yep.
My client informs me that Miss Stark and another individual by the name of Jack, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing this correctly, Zawicki, are unauthorized occupants in the unit. And so based off of that, my client is not willing to accept payments from them or an organization on their behalf because they are not authorized to be in that home.
What she say? I have hard time hearing.
Okay. What she's indicating is that somebody else is residing with you at this point.
Have what?
Is there somebody residing in the unit with you?
With me, he stays like the night and stuff, but he doesn't like live there. He has his own place.
Okay.
Your Honor, but Miss Stark herself is also unauthorized.
Yes, I know. I know. I was going to
I've
get
been
there.
living there for like 3.5 years, and half the bills are in my name.
Okay, but the landlord is indicating that you're an unauthorized occupant. They're not willing to accept funds from you. You're going to go
I've
ahead.
been the only one paying the rent for the last 2 years. Every rent check is in my name. I've been living there for a long time. Every money order has been signed by me. The DTE has been in my name for a couple of years.
Your Honor, I don't know how
Storm?
he put it in her name because she's not listed on the lease agreement as an authorized individual there.
They've taken my license.
You don't know. Hang on a second. You don't know what?
I guess I don't know how DTE put the bill in her name without her showing a valid lease, showing herself as an approved occupant.
Yeah. Did you say the DTE bill is in your name?
Yeah, it has been for a long time.
And
I have a whole
you were
folder
just
at-
hold on a second. You were just saying something about your license.
Yeah, they know I've been living there. They took my license, my social security card a while ago. So did the old owners, and they put me down as an occupant a long time ago.
Oh boy. Okay. Do you have any of those documents?
Not with me. I have them.
But do you have them at home?
Yes, I have the DTE bills for like the last couple of years.
Yeah, but where you provided, did you get a copy of the lease where you were an authorized occupant?
No, I have the original lease, but
Does
they
that
take
have,
it.
does that have your name on it?
I don't think so.
It doesn't.
I know I've been in the office a couple times, even for these newer owners, and they've scanned me into it to put me on it, like last
No, Your
year.
Honor, my client also advised that Ms. Stark and Mr. Zawicki recently applied to live at a different home in the community and their application was denied.
A different one than
Than
The one
this
we're living
site.
in, yeah.
That they applied to
We're
live
gonna
somewhere
move
else
from
in
the
the
trip.
community and they were denied.
And what?
well, you applied to
We
some.
applied to move to a different one because this trailer is full of mold and stuff, and they never got back to us. They said they contacted us multiple times. We pulled their phone records. There's nothing from them calling us. They've been really throwing us under the bus. We planned to move out.
They said that you were denied.
They never even told us that.
Your Honor, I
Okay.
assume
They
a
haven't
letter
gotten a
would
hold
have
of
gone
us.
out
They haven't gotten a
from,
hold of us at all.
Okay, but here's the issue. Can you pay the 2712?
I was supposed to get a loan from the bank, and they're still going over it. I talked to them a couple days ago. They're having to forgot what they said. But until that, then no, because I can't work right now.
Well, the best I can do at this point, Ms. Dornbush, it seems, is I could issue you a judgment. They'd have till the 10 days to pay. But then I think that's going to create a sticky situation of if they do tender, what happens?
I understand, Your Honor, and like I said, my client wouldn't be willing to accept payment from Ms. Stark, or if she'd indicated previously she was going to try and get some rental assistance from an agency on her behalf. If the payment comes in from Mr. Bartell, I understand he's incarcerated, but he's the individual on the least responsible for payment. And as of at present, my client has indicated they have to take the payment from Mr. Bartell. That's their leaseholder. Ms. Stark is not their leaseholder. She has no
Yeah, but I don't
contractual
know
obligation
that.
with my client, and so they would not be willing to accept the payment from her this time.
Yeah, but I think they're gonna get into a real sticky situation if I issue the judgment and then it doesn't. I don't think it matters who tenders. But I can tell you and just give you a forecast of what my.
I understand, Your Honor, and my client and I will be discussing their alternate legal remedies with respect to Ms. Stark and Mr. Zwicky's presence at the home.
All right. So I'm going to grant a judgment for possession, finding that there's no tribal issue. Total redemption amount is $27,1290. Is that was my last? What's
Yeah,
the
that's
amount?
still correct, Judge. Yeah, $27,1290.
$27,1290. That has to be paid within 10 days, so by the 3rd. Okay?
Right, and if I can't pay it in 10 days, then what happens?
Then they're going to seek to evict.
Okay, how long is that? Like 30 days or
Pardon?
you get 30 days to move out when they evict or?
If in the 10 days, when the 10 days expires, you're operating on borrowed time because the sheriff could show up at any time.
Okay.
Okay?
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Go! Will you hand me my screen box? Now go preach.
Foreclosed case of Arbor Woods versus Artelia Reeves and Dorothy Williams.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
How are you?
I don't know yet. You're gonna. Well, I don't know because you look like you're gonna yell at me.
No, I'm not. My mother told me to calm down before I have a stroke.
And she said, "Calm down when you come before me," didn't she? I like your mother.
She told
because the last couple of times.
Oh, but you know what, Judge Simpson?
Yes, ma'am.
I have so much on my plate and I know what I've done. And when you know what you've done and someone is trying to tell you you didn't do it, I'm like, but here it is. Would you give this to Judge Simpson, please?
Are you just gonna do what she says? I know. I was scared. No, I got you. Okay, what am I looking at? Man?
You're looking at the receipts that I was telling, the money orders that I bought for the rent for October. And all this time I was telling you, someone up in that office took my money orders. Okay. I'm trying to.
See, no, right now you're not listening to what your mama told you, right? Right?
Yeah.
Okay. And you have not shown this to counsel?
No, I didn't show it to anyone, but my mom and you. And you see where it looked like they whited out? You know, Susanna Vera, who is she? Who? Susanna Vera. If you see on one of those money orders,
I do,
that says Susanna Vera, I don't know who she is. And on the other money order, it was made out, crossed everything out, and made out to a roofing company. I don't know nothing about no roofing company. I don't.
So with these money orders, you're saying you put them into?
I put them, I done, if I didn't have time because we don't even know when the office is open anymore. I know, but you know what, sir?
Woosah.
Okay.
Take it down.
Okay.
You are not going to make it through this hearing without. If you need to yell at me. I can take it.
No,
just go ahead and yell at me. People do all day.
Well,
doesn't bother me. I take the robe off, go home. I'm fine.
Oh no. But what I'm trying to say, sir, if you look at it, both of them, it seems like somebody whited out. I'm shutting up.
You're not telling me the truth on that. Because you're going to say so. You're just gonna be quiet for right
I'll be
now.
quiet.
Okay. All right.
Turn my head. Be quiet.
Ms. Dornbush, you haven't seen these and
I have not, Your Honor, and just
I'll
giving Ms.
send
Reeves the benefit of not seeing them and that what she's brought to the court is what I think it is. I don't think there's any dispute that Ms. Reeves purchased money orders, but even based on that, there's also no dispute that my client didn't receive that money either. And so I know there's a process.
I absolutely agree with you on both those points, unless, and I don't want to.
What's the name of the roofing company, Your Honor? I do not know a Susanna Vera at the Arborwoods office. I do not believe that individual is an employee there.
It says LLB Soffit and Gutter Seals, maybe, or.
And Your Honor, if the court's able to scan those over to me, I'm happy to review those.
Yeah, we will. I was going to do that.
In the interim, I know MoneyGram has a procedure for Ms. Reeves to dispute that the payee is the intended payee and to request that they be reissued to the intended payee. And I don't necessarily have an objection to continuing this court case and having her pay the ongoing charges while those disputed amounts are hopefully reissued by MoneyGram.
Yeah, I don't know if the problem is the last paragraph and you'll see it when it says that they're saying after the purchase of the money order, MoneyGram is not responsible for the acts of purchaser, pays, and others which may result in a dispute. Confirmation of a cash.
And I think that's for the intended payee. You know, if there's a dispute between the purchaser of the money order, Ms. Reeves, and her intended payee, Arborwoods, but here, those individuals that cashed those money orders were not her intended payee. Ms. Reeves was certainly not intended.
No, I agree with you.
Or the roofing company.
Well, I'll let you read it. I read what they're trying to say a little bit differently. I thought she was going to be quiet. No, go ahead.
Because, sir, she keeps saying that I purchased these money orders.
Hold on. Let me stop you.
Okay.
Ms. Dornbush is representing her client.
Yeah.
She's not trying to make an accusation necessarily against you. What she said at the very beginning is absolutely true, and it's something I agree with. I believe that both things can be true here. I think you dropped these off. Somebody got them, right? So what you tried to do didn't happen. What the landlord wants is everything paid. That didn't happen. That's really all she's saying. They didn't get the money and it didn't go to your account. Okay? All right. Did that calm you down at all?
No.
Okay. That's all I got. Can we scan those?
Because
yes, ma'am.
if you look at it, it looked like someone whited out.
No, I see what I see what you're saying. The problem is, I don't know. You may be saying that it may be somebody that's affiliated with the landlord.
It is.
Who?
I can't say her name because she was the only one working up in the office. Here I am.
Okay.
I've been putting
hold on.
Your Honor, if Miss Reeves has a belief on who it is, I would request that she provide me that information so I can discuss it with my client. But as of now, I have no reason to believe that an Arborwoods employee took her money.
She doesn't even work there no more. Her name is Zoe.
Okay, hold on. Just here's what I want you to do.
What?
Okay. First thing I want you to do is I want you got to take your mother's advice. You need to calm down. Seriously.
I'm about to have a heart attack.
Yeah, I know. But that's what you're doing because you need to calm down. There's not much that can be resolved. I'm going to put this over a week. What I want you to do so that somebody's name isn't up there, I want you to call Ms. Dornbush's office.
Call whose office?
The
This
attorney's
lady's office?
Yes.
I don't have her number.
Okay, it's on your paperwork. We'll get you a number.
Thank you.
Call her.
Yeah.
And ma'am, I'm just gonna say this. She's willing to take the name. She may not be able to get to an answer.
Mhm.
Okay. Even after she talks to her client, she may not be able to get to an answer. But one of the things that I expect from all people is that you treat people with respect.
Yeah.
So when you call her, I don't want any of this.
Yeah.
If I get a report of any of this, I am not going to be happy.
I know.
She wants to take that. She doesn't even have to do that.
No, she doesn't.
She is offered to do that so she can talk it over with her clients
Okay.
about it. Okay.
Okay.
So you treat her right.
I will. I will.
And I know that she will treat you right.
I will.
Okay. Yeah. It doesn't mean the people have to disagree.
Yeah. Can I say something else?
I cannot stop you. I haven't been able to stop you yet. Yeah, go ahead.
If you look at my pay log, I have never been late for my rent.
That is about the 20th time you have told me that.
I know.
Between the times you've been here.
I know.
Everybody can see that.
Okay, Judge Simpson. My mama told me to just behave myself in here today.
And do you think you did that?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
January 31st, 2025. What time? 1 p.m.
1 p.m. Okay.
I'll be waiting with bells on.
Okay.
All right.
I'm nervous.
You're nervous?
Yeah.
I couldn't tell. All right. You have a good weekend.
You too, Judge
right.
Simpson. And I look forward to seeing you on the 31st.
Yes, ma'am. Court does call the case of Sycamore Meadows versus Derek Hall.
So tonight, Judge Raven Walker, Derek had to run to the restroom.
Okay. All right. And Raven Walker. All right. Where are we on this case?
Well, Your Honor, I understand that this matter's been adjourned a few times for them to try and speak with Hawk.
Correct.
And it's further my understanding after speaking with the defendant that she did speak with Hawk in that their position is that they will not approve her for any amount at this time because the balance is too high.
I do want to say something.
Absolutely.
Counsel, I really just called Hawk in the hallway. Just to tell him I'm at court and what's going on. Derek just started a job and they told me that he made too much so that they can't help me and give me an appointment. He said that she said that his amount that he makes per hour and weekly is above the HUD limit, so she can't help us. So, not to cut counsel off, but counsel and my landlord was going to allow us to pay that balance that that $1,400 for 6 months, $240 a month. That's what he was going to allow if Hawk would pay the $3,000.
If the Hawk would pay the $3,000.
So now we're kind of in a rut.
But unfortunately, if I understand you right, they're saying that it's not so much that the balance is too high, it's that your income is too high. So
No, the first one was right. The balance was too high. She couldn't help me. But now when I just called back a minute ago in the hallway and told her about us having an appointment, she said then she did the numbers. She said that he made too much for them to help us to get the appointment.
right, so apparently they're not going to get approved.
So you gave her the numbers of what he's making now.
Mm-hmm. And she said that I told her, I said he just started the job Tuesday. He doesn't even have a check yet. But she asked her how amount he gets an hour, and then she did the math and she said, well, according to the HUD requirements, you guys make too much to get the appointment. And the appointment, I wasn't going to be able to get that
HUD requirement.
Yeah, that's what she said. And if you got the person from Hawk on here, I'm pretty sure they put it in my notes because I just got off the phone with her. And I didn't understand that because, like I said, he doesn't have any check stubs yet. He just started. So I really don't know.
Okay. So landlord's willing to agree to a payment plan, right?
Yes, sir.
But in order to fulfill that payment plan to the landlord, presumably you'd have to be working.
He's working.
You know, I got it.
I'm still waiting.
But now, so you can do that part of it. He then makes too much money to get the 3,000.
Yes, sir.
So somebody's gonna have to get me an answer on this. I hear what you're saying. Because at some point, if he were to quit his job,
He would go back to zero.
he would go back to zero. But then the issue would be, the housing isn't sustainable for your family. So then they're not gonna pay. So folks, let me ask you this. How are you going to, okay, let's say everybody got you out of this hole. How are you gonna pay your rent going forward?
Well, right now our rent is at zero. So when he gets a certain amount of check stubs, that's when they'll start back charging us rent. And he has to turn those into the,
So your rent right now is zero.
yes, sir.
So
Well,
no.
just to put you up on why this is even happening, they didn't recertify us at the correct amount of times when he was working and did give the check stubs. So all of this is a backup of what they didn't put inside of the system. So now they're like, y'all owe us this. But he reported when he was supposed to. It just didn't get in there in time. They switched management and all different type of things was happening.
But is all of this then due?
Well, I was thinking the same thing, like, it accumulated over a period of time, and then they just told us like, hey, they start dropping letters on our door like, hey, you got to pay this. And the numbers have changed.
But hold on a second. If he was working, you reported that income.
Yes, sir.
Did your rent go up when he did that?
No, they never.
That's just answer.
Sorry.
Simplest answer, sometimes the best thing. So rent didn't go up. When did that start?
We never actually got an amount to pay. That's why we're here. We never actually got an amount to pay because he didn't keep the job for that long. So we went back to zero. But when he did have a job, they didn't put the stuff in so we could pay monthly.
So when is all of this coming from then? This amount?
This is from months before when he had a job.
Let me ask it this way. How long has your rent been at zero?
Since October. Recently, since October.
So this amount is from prior to October?
Yes, sir. I believe. Or sometimes before that. But I just know that that how we even got all this amount, period, because when we would go into the office, it was just paperwork that wasn't processed. So that's why we have such a big amount. It'd have been different if they gave him an amount to pay every month and then we didn't pay nothing.
Ma'am, sometimes you just need to be quiet.
I'm sorry.
So I have a rental rate of $534 per month, which when I look at all of this equates to 9-10 months that isn't paid, all in 2024. But that's not going to match up if the rent is zero in October. Well, it could, I guess, but that's kind of weird. And I'm just going by the complaint because the complaint indicates that basically they're paid through the end of 2023. It states in paragraph 5 that their rent is $534. They say that in November of 2024, that does not match with what the defendant is saying is that their rent is zero.
Your Honor, I can represent to the court that their rent does change. In February, they're paying $994, March $994, April $994.
$994.
$1,444. Same as in June. Same as in July. August $1,312. September, 1,312. Now,
So hold it. This is what their rent that they're being charged.
yes, but then there's also billing corrections. I guess I need my property manager here to explain it all to the court if that's what the.
Yeah, because something, I mean, I'm not digging deep, but I'm listening to what defendants are saying. I'm also just looking at the complaint and just from a rudimentary standpoint, all the math does not add up. I'm unclear how they get there, how that number gets there. And then, I don't know if that number is incorrect. But then the other part of it is you have Section 8
Through the Sycamore Meadows.
through Sycamore Meadows. Because the other part of this is, now have you talked with legal services regarding this? Or
They said they couldn't represent us because they had too many cases for Sycamore Meadows. Miss Emily.
that's not correct? What happened?
What's not correct?
Here's what I'm worried about.
I have a text message.
Hold on. Would legal services be willing to talk to? I mean, here's my problem. My problem is I've seen enough Sycamore Meadows cases and there are recertification issues. And I'm not saying that this is one, don't know, but it looks to me like it's one. Miss Lee, you are just nodding at me. I don't know what that means.
Yeah. All right, I can speak. We've been attempting to advise all of the residents at Sycamore Meadows. We don't
Right.
commit to actually representing each case because we don't have the capacity to do that. But we're absolutely going to continue advising the defendants in this case. Our impression was that they did not want further assistance. But if that's not true, we'll have to come again.
I had turned in like all the documents that I had for
What?
I had turned up all of my documents that I had from the last management to now the new management. And I had gave all those documentations to Emily. And when we were supposed to
Emily
be here the first time, she told me at the last minute saying that she couldn't represent us. So it completely just wasted our time because we was already nervous of approaching.
Hold on. Who's in?
Emily is our fellow that's been appearing, Your Honor.
Okay.
Right. And the thing about legal advice, what more do we need to get advice to tell you? Because all we're doing is telling the truth. So what else do we need to say? Because the only thing that could change it is if the manager explained why the prices keep going up and down.
So maybe if you have that attitude when you're talking to a lawyer, they will say, it seems like you don't want our help.
No, I didn't have that attitude. I'm just frustrated now about saying it, but I didn't have that attitude. I didn't do the talking. He did the talking.
Well, that may have been a problem too. So listen, all I'm saying is, I'm telling you what I see on the surface when I'm looking at this. I don't know any of it to be true. But if it's a recertification issue, it changes what it is. But you guys having been here, maybe I can understand Emily's position. You guys have to listen to what they're telling you. Because you can tell me all day and night long, he didn't have a job, he didn't have this, it was zero, it was whatever. But I don't have the research documents. And I'm not going to go through the research documents. That's what other people have to do to present to the court. Right? So if they're in a position of advising you, I think you need to listen to what they're telling you and follow their steps. Something tells me that wasn't done.
Well, I won't say that we wasn't following their steps. We gave them what they asked us for. And then the day that we were supposed to go to court, she texted us in the morning and said that she could only advise us from there and to tell her what was going on, whatever you tell us to tell, to have that conversation.
Did you do that?
No, sir.
Why? If a lawyer told you, okay, we can't represent you, but we can advise you, go to court, tell us what the court says, and then you don't, and tell us what the court says, send me that information, and you don't do that, what are they supposed to think and whether or not you need to be represented?
Well, I just thought because she said that she couldn't represent. Go ahead.
I spoke to Emily. I told her what you had said. First time we met, she already had documentation.
Here's the thing. I'm not going to go through all this. I'm just not.
But
do you want advice on this matter and the potential issues that might arise regarding a recertification? That's your call. If you want that, then I'm going to grant one more week for you to try to get back in touch to try to make sure it happens. If you don't want it, then forget it. I'm not going to worry about it.
yes, I would want that to be properly.
Okay, but so I'm going to, over plaintiff's objection, adjourn it out 1 week so they can get advice. But I'm only doing it contingent upon the fact that you listen and follow that advice. Understood? You got to listen to what they say. They'll be more than happy to answer some of your questions, but you got to listen. You got it locked in your head as to exactly what this is. But I think, ma'am, I'm going to be honest with you. I think you're wrong in some of what you're telling me. But I only say that because as I'm looking at it, there are a number of these cases that I've seen. And so I know some of the things that happen. But your conclusions of what it is, I think, are wrong.
The only reason why I was telling.
So you want to now argue with me?
No, I'm not arguing.
I've been practicing for 40 years.
I'm not arguing.
Want to argue with me? I just told you what I said. I'm done. You can talk to legal services, get advice. January 31st, 2025. What time?
12 p.m.
12 p.m. Thank you. Sometimes my dad used to say to me, you lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. But sometimes you need to lead a horse to water and you need to make them drink, so you dunk their head in. Just a thought. Sycamore Meadows versus Kayla P.
For asphalt for the plaintiff.
Jill Bauer for Ms. P, Your Honor. I am going to enter an appearance this afternoon.
Kayla P.
All right, where are we on this case?
Your Honor, legal services has not received any of the paperwork for this case yet. I requested it by email and haven't received it yet. Mr. Asphalt did say that he would get it to me, but this is a complicated case. It's
It's a fire unit.
It's a termination of tenancy case, and I need time to investigate and file either an answer or a motion.
But she's not in the unit right now.
No, she's not.
They filed a health claim.
Yes. She's zero rent.
But you're no longer in a Sycamore Meadows unit.
No, sir. They didn't rehouse me.
Pardon?
They didn't rehouse me.
Yeah, she's been unhoused since the fire on November 14th.
Yes, sir. And I signed my new lease on that same day before I discovered the fire.
And I've made requests for her to be rehoused and they've been denied.
Okay. When do we want to put it to?
I'd like at least 3 weeks to be able to go over all of this is very complicated. There's a lot of evidence and I want to.
You always tells me everything's complicated.
Your Honor, if the court wants to do that, I would request that she file some type of brief, laying out what the issues are, because I think it's pretty clear. And also, I think that in this case, an escrow order would be appropriate.
She's zero rent.
Pardon me?
Her rent is zero.
Right, but I mean, every month that we can't use the property, it costs my client money. And it's also causing, even more to the point, it's causing.
So
damage.
hold on, counsel. If her rent is 0, and you want me to set escrow, what would I set her rent? What do you suggest?
Yeah, I guess
set the escrow at?
I didn't realize that her rent was 0. I think my client is more concerned about the damage that is accumulating to the property that's just sitting there in the severely damaged position that it is in. And if she's not even living there, I really don't understand. I mean, this case is just about possession. She doesn't want possession of that unit. In the meantime, somebody's paying for this unit. I mean, we're not seeking a money judgment. It's
Well, why? Then explain to me. Okay.
if they feel that she's entitled under the lease to another unit, then they should file some type of action stating that. And if she's been entitled to it for the last 3 months, then maybe my client will have to pay, although if her rent's 0, but my point is just simply, Judge, I don't understand. This case is about possession. She's not in possession. She doesn't want possession. It would be better for everyone.
No, I think she wants to be housed.
Yes, Your Honor.
Just my thought.
Yes,
So she wants to be housed, can't live in the unit that she's in.
correct.
And so therefore, she probably wants a unit.
Yes.
Right, but nobody wants possession of the burned unit. If they feel like they're entitled to another unit, then
But,
they should file
but
something.
hold on. If she surrenders possession, then in essence, she's giving up her right to any unit.
Correct.
That's what the problem is.
Yes.
So I get why it's where it is. So has it the basis or what happened with the fire, tenant's fault, landlord's fault, or undetermined?
Your Honor, I believe even though the fire report says that her cat started the fire,
Her cat.
yes, I examined.
Her cat?
She was not at home.
Her cat
Her
started.
cat. I examined.
That's why I've told my cats always stay away from matches.
Then
I don't
the
let them play
stove-
with lighters. I just keep them all in one spot because they could do that. I'm kidding.
One of the things that I want to investigate is how reliable that report is, because the stove that she had, and the knob has to be pushed in and turned. I don't believe a cat could turn on this stove.
Whoa.
So I think there's a problem with the theory of how the fire started. And Miss P was actually at the office doing her research for 2 hours while the fire started, so she wasn't home.
While the cats were turning knobs on a
Yeah, yeah. So there are issues with the theory of the case, and it's going to require some work to get a handle on our.
Okay, so I see.
Yeah.
So
Judge, I mean, my client would be willing, I mean, if she's talking about now like hiring experts to a stove, I mean, if the court just brought up the issue of if she gives up the right to possession of this apartment, then she's giving up the right to claim that they have the obligation to house her in another apartment. I mean, we'd be willing to waive that argument. And if she wants to file a separate pleading, to go delve into whether or not we have the obligation to house her in a separate unit that can be preserved. But in the meantime, so the taxpayers aren't continuing to pay for a unit that's vacant and continuing damage to this unit that she clearly doesn't want and isn't living there. Give us possession of that unit, and then we can go forward with this idea of, is she
why hasn't
entitled
Sycamore
to-
Meadows just gone in and repaired it
Exactly.
and then decide
Well,
who
we
has?
can't. I mean, if
Why can't you?
if she's willing to, because I mean, that's essentially taking possession of the property, Your Honor.
No, it's not.
If the court's willing.
It
to
is absolutely not. It's not the same.
All right, if the court's willing to make the ruling, I mean, obviously, we normally always want an order allowing us to go in unless the defendant has turned in her keys and given us permission. But sometimes on the record, if she's willing to state that it's okay for us to go in there and take possession essentially and start making repairs, that would be.
Why can't the parties stipulate to allow the repairs to the premises?
Your Honor, we were never asked to, and actually one of the issues is they've been very, they've given her 1 hour to remove all of her belongings from the unit. Once she has her belongings out of the unit, or if they can work around her belongings, the fire was only in the kitchen area, we would be happy for them to repair the.
That's fine. I'll prepare an order.
Everybody is making this harder than it has to be.
I'll prepare an order, giving her a certain amount of time to remove everything she needs out of there. And then after that time frame, my client can go ahead and take possession. Can we have a 1-week adjournment just to make sure that we're in agreement with that order?
Your Honor, we're not agreeing to them taking possession. We're in agreement with allowing the repairs to begin.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess.
You guys are never
But I
going to
mean,
be able to
I think she has to get everything out of there, right? Before we can do the repair.
Right, but they were, I remember this, they were giving her a very small window to try to get stuff out and putting a number of different restrictions on her entry, or at least as she perceived the instructions she was getting. I don't know if it was
No,
true.
they were
Right. I think that has something to do with, because like the county says, nobody can go in there. So I don't know. I guess I'll have to talk about.
January 31st, 2025, 12 noon. Court calls the case of the Felicia Couchman versus Sean Perry. Your name?
Alicia Couchman.
Sean Perry.
All right. And it's a health hazard, and it's your case.
Correct. It's the home is in my name. He's been living there with me. He's had a lot of drug use, and there was a lot of paraphernalia and drugs. And on December 6th, I came downstairs and there were needles and drugs, and he was passed out. I was able to get him to come to. Later in the day, I could not get him to come to. I had to call an ambulance.
Good. Sir, what's your position on having to move out of the premises?
Well, Your Honor,
It's out of your pocket.
I've since gotten in treatment with the doctor and nurse. We've lived together for more than 10 years now, and I was hoping that we could resolve some of the differences and move forward. But we don't have any conflict at home as of now, other than the past here. I'm basically, I did call to legal services to get some advice legally. And I'm waiting for a call back. And so I'm just kind of rolling with the punches, see what I need to do.
You do not have a place to move?
No.
So if I grant her a judgment and you have to move out by February 3rd, you can't do that?
No, I really don't. I mean, I put a lot of money and time into the property. I haven't talked to anybody about it. I haven't had a chance to talk to and get any legal advice. I don't really know what my position is.
And presuming since you were there for 10 years, there's some personal relationship is between the two, right?
There hasn't really been a romantic relationship for a while. But we've been living together.
Got it.
And he hasn't been working because he was having issues. He did work in the summer, but he didn't. It went to the usage.
Did you get into inpatient?
I did go into the emergency room. And, I'm not inpatient, but I'm
Okay, sir, let me just ask you this. What other treatment are you receiving at this?
I'm getting Suboxone through the doctor.
Are you in a program?
No, I'm not in a program, but I am being urine tested.
Yeah, but I get it. Okay, I hear you. But you also understand what she's really trying to say to you, and what
I do.
And that is that she can't do that. She can't do this anymore. That's what she's saying to you.
I appreciate the efforts that he's making with the Suboxone, but I just keep going through the same things over and over again for years.
Pardon? I didn't hear your last part.
I appreciate what he's trying to do with the Suboxone, because he was like self-medicating with methadone and then heroin. But it's a pattern.
Oh, yeah.
55 years old. He chased me to the neighborhood. Just need peace. I want him to do well. He's killing me. Sorry.
When are you going to leave? Pardon?
So I was told by Felicia that we would work something out. We were working something out.
Hang on a second. Let me just tell you something.
Yeah.
And I've been doing this for a long time. You're talking to me like an addict. You're not answering my question. You're trying to direct the conversation in the way that you want it to go. Maybe, indeed, something can work out at some further point in time for her. You get that?
I do.
The thing is, it isn't about you now, except you getting out and then allowing her to make decisions and choices. If you get out and then she finds it within her to be able to accept you back in some way, some form, in some structure, that's her business. But right now, what she's telling you is you have to go. And while she didn't say this, I don't think she wants it to be in some fashion where the sheriff shows up and just starts dragging you out. I don't think she wants that. But you need, if you don't tell me when you can go and be out, I'm going to give you the time. It's going to be real simple for me.
I think month would probably be reasonable.
Ma'am, what do you believe?
I'm open to giving him a month.
You're open to that?
For a month.
Okay. Here's what I'm
But
going
he has to treat me cordially.
Pardon?
He has to treat me cordially. I'm living there in the home. He can't take this out at me, verbally or emotionally. I need him to be amicable.
Absolutely.
What?
Absolutely.
I'm going to find no tribal issue. I'm going to grant a judgment for possession, no redemption amount to the plaintiff. And I'm going to structure the writ date this way. And that is that writ may issue February 3rd. I'm not going to, the way the judgment's going to be laid out, I'm not giving the 30 days. That is going to be up to you. If you want to give him that 30 days, I've heard what you said and that you're amenable to. But I also understand in dealing with addicts that if you give that, then that's sort of the floor. Right? And in essence, what you were telling me is that he has to do certain things. So, while being gracious and giving the 30 days, my feeling is, and the way I look at it, is he's got to earn it. And sometimes just earning that is the day-to-day of just treating you like you should be treated. And so what this does, ma'am, is it maybe shifts the power dynamic in a way, maybe. Because you probably felt powerless to try to deal with a lot of this stuff. So, if it doesn't treat you right, and you can come down, just file the paper, and I have a good memory, so I'll remember and I'll sign off on that. You got to fill out a judgment for me, okay? And then if he doesn't treat you right, I'm not going to ask a reason. I'm not going to ask anything along those lines. I will be signing off on that writ of restitution to have him removed from the premises. Do you understand that, sir? All right. So what I might suggest, Ms. Wedding, if you could get her a judgment so she has that filled out prior to her leaving the court. All right. Thank you. Case Michael Scott Stone versus Kevin Johnson.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello. Your name?
Kevin J. Smith, sir.
What are all of these?
Those are different folders of information that I had there. They are text messages, emails, 3 recorded phone calls, and financial information, Your Honor.
I don't have any recordings, but
it's printed out.
Okay, hold on, take a breath. Sir,
Yes, Your Honor.
have you seen any of these?
Negative.
You haven't seen these?
No.
Okay.
That is
Pardon?
Your Honor, he has seen it. That is all the information that he has sent me via text message.
No, I get that, but he was, as you're saying, but you didn't provide him copies of what you submitted to the court, right?
In that instance, no, Your Honor, I have not.
Okay. You need to supply him a copy of what is in my court file.
Okay.
How long will it take you to do that?
I can print out the pages tomorrow at the library and have them mailed out tomorrow from the post office, sir.
All right. So you need to supply all of the copies of the document to the plaintiff. I would suggest that you get them in the mail as soon as possible because it's going to take a bit to get down there. I'll set this for January 31st, 2025 at 12 noon.
Sir, yes, sir.
So you need to get these out, get these down to them, and then we can go from there.
Sir, yes, sir.
Right. All right. Thank you, folks.
Your
Thank you,
Honor.
sir.
Yes, sir.
On what basis is he claiming he can still stay there? He hasn't paid me any rent since June.
Have you read the documents that he's doing? Sir, you're down in Florida.
Yes, Your
I'd
Honor.
suggest you get an attorney because you've been asking me certain questions on both of these hearings that lead me to the conclusion that you have certain presumptions about how the law works that aren't correct. So I'm adjourning it out to that day. I'm not going to answer your question, and I'm going to suggest that you get counsel to represent you.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Have a good weekend, sir.
You both have a good weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Red Shield Reynolds versus Kathy Clark and Martin Soro.
He's not with me.
Okay.
Your Honor, we spoke and we were not able to come to a resolution. The amount of rent that's owed is $459.39. Court cost of $188 for a total of $647.39. Ms. Clark disagrees.
Your Honor,
You were supposed to file a written answer with the court.
I paid my rent last month. They were closed. I told them my check comes in 2 days before the 1st. So they were closed. I went and put it in the slot. Now, since June, I've asked Red Shield Reynolds to please take care of these cockroaches. And we just moved in. And we got, they sent one guy one time to come up and spray in our closet. And all he did was he went and he was done. He never came back. I called Red Shield again. I said, we need these cockroaches out of here. They never did nothing.
Ma'am, you have to file a written answer with the court to the complaint.
Okay, how do I do it? What do I just write it down and then bring it in?
You have to write it down as to what your complaints as to why you think you don't owe this. You have to give a copy to plaintiff and you have to give a copy to the court. I told you that at the last hearing back on January 17th.
Okay, then I'm gonna do that.
I'll adjourn this matter out. I'll give you time to get that done. What's her monthly rent?
$730.
But I pay half and my boyfriend pays half.
And Your Honor, I don't mind if we, normally I would, it's joint several lease, but his money comes from MAP. So I'm pretty sure I don't want the MAP money coming here. So I don't have a problem if you're going to order escrow, order her.
Well, I won't order escrow at this point.
I would like to put it in escrow because they're not doing
Okay.
nothing to my place.
Then how much is monthly rent?
$730.
I'm going to order escrow in the amount of $730. All right. I will indicate that defendant 2 may satisfy escrow by paying to plaintiff. That's Mr. Storos. So,
And then another thing, Your Honor, the new people that took over, they own this for almost 2 months now. And I've asked them over until I'm blue in the face to do something with these cockroaches and nobody's doing nothing.
I called the owner. We're going to be treating it this week.
No, they said that last
February
week, and they
14th,
never did.
2025,
They say this every
1
time.
p.m.
But I've never said it.
The Red Shield.
February 14th,
February-
2025, 1 p.m. Thank you. Have a great
I
evening.
come to court at 1 p.m. on the 14th.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
But she has to file the written answer before
She has to
that.
file a written answer before that date.
And then I can come here and bring it here.
You don't bring it that day. When you pay your money to escrow, give it to them at that time.
Now, how do I do this escrow?
You bring cash.
Bring cash and you pay it up front
In here?
at the front windows.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
All right. You have a great evening.
Are you kidding me?
Oh, my God.
You have got to be kidding me. What is going on today? This is a joke. This is a joke. Today is an absolute joke. We need an interpreter.
I need an interpreter when I cannot express myself sometimes.
Oh my God, sir, put that cigarette out. I don't give a crap that you are outside of this. What is wrong with everybody today? You know what, Miss Reed? We're going to start bringing people in person. People going to learn how to act in a courtroom.
Can you hear it? Can you hear it? Ma'am? Ma'am? Can you hear it? Okay.
I have no patience for that. And trust me, out of the day, I'm sitting up here, I'm the one that needs a drink.